All right, boys and girls, this is Miss Green, and we are ready for our second story for this week. Our second story, again, is an expository text. And just to review you about expository text, the definition, we're going to get facts and we're going to get details and specific information about a topic. Now, with this type of text, we can also see photographs, captions, sidebars, tables, graphs, anything like that that helps us with the information that we are getting. Okay, we're also asking and answering questions this week with our story. We're also looking for key details in our story. And with an expository text, it's very easy to pick out those key details, the main events in the story. Our essential question again today is what happens when families work together. So today we're going to read about a family that works together on a farm. Monday we read about the Young family where the mom was a pediatrician, the dad was a fireman, and how they worked together with their children in their home, and with mom and dad working such long hours. Now, today, we're going to be talking about a family that works together on a farm. And if you know anything about farm work, you know it is very, very hard work. A lot of time outside. You have to depend on the weather a lot and hoping for good weather when you are farming. And it takes everybody pitching in to get things taken care of on a farm. All right, so here we go. Let's read Families Working Together. And you can see our pictures are actual pictures, and they're not drawings. And I always like this story. And look at this little gal. She is pretty young, but she is helping out all she can with this family farm. All right. So how does a family farm work? It's 3:45 a.m. on Tuesday. Mary Gilder is getting ready for work. She and her mom drive many miles from their farm in Michigan to Chicago. They sell fruits and vegetables at a farmer's market. Customers visit their farm stand to buy fresh food. I love seeing who will eat the food my family works hard to grow, Mary says. After a long day, the Gilders return home. They do it all again on Saturday. But their work does not stop there. Each day they do many chores. The family plants, waters, and picks fruits and vegetables. All right, so think about this. Ask and answer questions. What work does the Gilder family do each Tuesday? All right, if you're not sure, look what it says. Go back to the text to find the answer. I know that was the very beginning of my story. So on Tuesdays, they get up at 3:45 in the morning. You're still asleep at that time, and so am I. But on a farm, you have to do that. And they drive many miles from their farm in Michigan to Chicago just to sell their fruits and vegetables at a farmer's market. That's a lot of work, getting up very early to sell their produce. So that's a lot of hard work. And if you've never worked on a farm or helped with a garden, it's a job. So this family is very, very dedicated. Let's see what happens next. All right. One of Mary's jobs is to care for the chickens. Her brothers repair trucks and tractors. They check farm tools such as shovels and drills. Mary's mom, Renee, takes care of money and workers. Look at our next paragraph. When the Gilders choose what to plant, they look at demand. In the summer, people want strawberries, so the family plants a lot of them. Sometimes they sell less than they have. The Gilders turn the extra fruit into jam. I love strawberries, Mary says. It's great to have jam in the winter when there is no supply of fresh strawberries. So they don't let anything go to waste. So if they have extra strawberries that don't sell, they make it into jam. So producing and consuming. Some people produce items that people buy. People who buy items are called consumers. Here's a look at some items that are produced and who consumes them. Okay, so what is produced? These are some items that are produced. Who consumes it? All right, a person that would be the consumer, and that would be us. Bicycles. Well, who consumes it or who are the consumers? Kids and athletes. Okay. All right, books. So a company produces books. Now, who consumes those books? Who buys those books? Teachers, students, and readers. Okay, food is something that is produced. Well, who consumes it? Who purchases it? People and animals. Now, animals don't purchase it, but you purchase it for your pets. The animals are consumers. They're going to eat it. Think about cars. That's an item that is produced, and the people who consume or the consumers of that are drivers. All right, let's take a look at the next page. Running a farm costs money, so the Gilders try to save. Some time ago, they bought an outdoor wood stove. They burn the farm's old trees for heat. The heat warms their home and barn. It helped the family spend less during the cold months. We help each other and we help the environment, Renee says. I'm really proud of my family and our farm. Here are some pictures and we have captions. The Gilder family farm produces apples and other fruits. I imagine during the fall especially is when they have a huge demand for apples and pumpkins and things like that. People buy jam and fresh food from the Gilder family's farm stand. So there again you can see some of the jams that Mom has made when she has fruit that is left over. So this is another characteristic of an expository text. Again, we have actual pictures, we have captions, we have a chart that explains things for us. Okay, so let's think about some things for just a moment. Let me ask you this. What is a key detail we learn from page 105 about how the family works together to run their farm? Let's take a look at this. All right. How do they work together to run their farm on page 105? Well, the little girl, Mary, gets up at 3:45 to help get things ready to go to the market. They have many chores. They have to plant, water, and pick the fruits and vegetables. So that's text evidence, and those are key details from that section about how they do work together to run a farm. And with a farm, it takes every person working together. So let's think about some of these questions here. Use details from the selection to summarize. So when you summarize, you're only telling the important details of the story. You're not going to tell it word for word for word for word. You're going to tell the important events. We know that Mary helps take care of the chickens. Her brother repairs trucks and tractors to make sure that everything is good with the farming tools. Her mom, Renee, takes care of money and makes jam with leftover fruits and things. So every person on the farm has an important job. All right, think about this. How does the family farm help provide other people with food? Think about that for a moment. All right, do you remember in the story, at the very beginning of the story, they're talking about taking their produce and their jam and things like that to the farmer's market, and they sell those items there, and that's how they're making money. And of course, they have to take that money and pay for their needs that they have to have, and also to put back into the farm so they can produce more food. So, how does the Gelders family work on their farm help others? Wow, do you enjoy fresh strawberries and apples? Do you enjoy fresh vegetables? Well, those kind of things come from our farmers, and without them, we wouldn't have those wonderful things. There's nothing like a good strawberry or watermelon in the summertime. And in the fall, oh my goodness, those apples and pumpkins and all those great things that we enjoy. But without a farmer to take care of those things, we wouldn't have them. So that's very hard work, but it's a very rewarding job. All right, so some details from our story. All right, one detail, the family grows fruits and vegetables and sells them at the farmer's market. That's an important detail from our story, and that's something that will help you with a graphic organizer. Another detail, family members plant and water the crops, and they take care of chickens and repair the trucks and tractors. That's an important detail from our story. And our final detail that's very important is they decide what to plant and how to spend the money that they earn. They have to take care of those needs. They have to make sure that things on the farm are taken care of. They have to make sure that they're ready to plant the next crop. So it's a really good job, a rewarding job, but a hard job. I hope you've enjoyed it this week, talking about families and how they can work together.